Okay guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and now today we are going to be talking all about ARK 2. Now Cedric, the lead community manager, put up a very interesting tweet, and we're going to be reading through some of the things from the community talking about some of the primitive items and systems that people want to see for the game. Let me know in the comment section down below what you'd like to see as well, because, you know, this whole world of ARK 2 is going to start completely primitive, probably even more primitive, 10 times more than the first game ever was at the beginning, and I really like this. I know a lot of people are saying they're not too fond of it and they would like to see some like sort of more tech type of stuff, but personally I'm quite happy with starting right from a really primitive stage. I think that's when ARK is at its best, in my personal opinion. I do think some of the stuff that got added in later was cool, but anyway, let's get in with the video. As always, make sure to smash that like button, really helps me out if you guys do enjoy. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out on all of your ARK content, and let's get in with the video. So as you can see, Cedric put this tweet out saying, "I'm seeing some good convo about primitive themed ARK 2 and what it will be like. What primitive items / systems do you want to see? I know I have some ideas." And then a little bit later on, he said, "Don't worry, I'm still farming this for replies. Thanks for your input, it's never wasted." So this happens quite a lot in the community for ARK 2. It's been happening over the last year. Mainly, I'd say like the last sort of 6 months, where Wildcard are just asking for input on Twitter and stuff for what we would kind of like to see. Because I'm telling you, it actually does go a long way with Wildcard. I've seen lots of things come from the community. And even the dinos recently, you know, they did the community votes. They actually do listen to the community massively and bring community creations alive, and that's what happens a lot with the mods too. So we're going to be going through some of these ideas now, and then as I mentioned earlier, I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. So I only did pick out the ones that Cedric replied to. I'm not saying the ones that he didn't reply to might not come to the game. I just thought, you know, it looked a little bit interesting with some of his replies. So this person, shout out to everyone that I do read these ideas out from. It really does help the community. So this one said, hopefully ARK 2 has a way better building system that lets us console guys be more creative even on not so flat surfaces. For example, more shapes. And Cedric did reply with the winky emoji, which is always good. But one thing you have to remember on console as well, guys, is you're going to have mods. Like, you're going to have full mod support like on PC now. So at the end of the day, you're going to be able to download all these different mods, which is going to help building out. So even if the original game, you know, the vanilla game doesn't actually have sort of state of the game doesn't have like the building that you want, there's going to be so many other mods out there, which is just going to make the game so much better. You guys on console probably saw Structures Plus from 2016 and seeing how amazing it was to play with that. So don't worry, it's going to be your time very, very soon. Now, this one was from a friend of mine, Natural Causes, a great YouTuber, does like loads of 100 days videos. There was no reply from Ced, but I just wanted to add this in because I quite like this idea as well. I want to have I can never pronounce it for some reason, and I know I'm just going to get it wrong. Trebuchet. Yeah, right? I got that right. I always used to know it from a game. If you guys ever played Age of Empires, I don't know if some of you did or some of you didn't, but obviously it's like a war game. Well, obviously like, you know, where you could fight with Romans and stuff, like bird's eye view type of game. I played it ever since I was a kid, and you know, like basically things that you can launch. I mean, from saying that name, I'm hoping some of you guys know what I'm going on about, but basically for sieging bases, catapults / ballistas are really underused, so it'd be awesome to see some great sieges. So that's a better word for it. Better sieges in the game to break down bases. And considering it's very primitive, and Cedric wants to know a lot about what sort of systems and items they want in the game, I think this sounds cool. And I do believe catapults and ballistas aren't that great, and I do feel like it would be great to have something that needs a little bit more use, it is a little bit more overpowered on that primitive side of things. So let me know what you guys think about this idea. I picked this out because I really liked it. And then another one from my friend Scott from Twitter. Big shout out to Scott, been in the ARK community for a very long time, and said water wheel to power certain things like cooking, crafting, or making certain items. Now, I like this a lot. Again, this has been something that's been talked about that was going to come to ARK 1 at some point. And Cedric did actually go on to mention that because someone said, water wheels, please. And Cedric said, I wanted to do these so bad for Primitive Plus. So that you never know. That could be a hint. It could be a big idea that we could see water wells in the game. I, again, think this would be so useful. Just constantly having this water well. I feel like because the game's a lot more primitive, we're going to need more items and structures and sort of systems that's going to make things a lot more user-friendly, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want things just to be, like, I don't want it to be too easy, or you always want a challenge, but something just, you know, the tiniest things like that can make the game so much nicer without having to just go back and forward. And I know there's going to be pipes and stuff, but I feel like a water wheel would be really awesome too. And then we have, this one sounded really cool. Hear me out. Traps. Like Indiana Jones type traps, that kind of stuff. And Cedric replied, agreed. This one, again, I agree with massively too. I think that'd be so cool. Having those sort of primitive style traps, I think not only would give you that kind of fear walking through forests and walking through whatever, but I think, you know, setting up these types of... I know you in the first game, you've got bear traps and stuff, but something more proper, if that makes sense. That's not very professional wording from me there, but just something that makes you, you know, like old school, like Pirates of the Caribbean, where you could like maybe make a hole in the ground, or, you know, have a trap that like picks someone up or something like that. I just think would look really cool in ARK 2, especially following, as I mentioned, that primitive side of things. I wonder how many times I'm going to say the word primitive in this video. And then we have primitive resource movement, log fumes, dino carts, and pulley systems, etc., etc., etc. Why can't I speak today? Cedric replied to this saying pulley systems. He liked the idea of that. I like the idea of that too, but I also like the idea of dino carts. There was a mod back in the day. I think it was sort of ARK. It was like early, sort of mid-ARK time, since, so let's say 3 and a bit years into ARK 1, and someone created a mod which was basically a roller coaster dino kart mod, like in Minecraft, let's say. I really feel like people will be able to make it a crazy inventions and stuff, really awesome roller coasters around the map. I did actually do this with the mod myself, and it was a great mod. There was some bugs with it, but it was a lot of fun. And I feel like having that sort of dino kart that you can go from base to base or area to area would be really, really cool. And again, pulley systems, I think too, would be something that you could get around a lot easier, obviously, as you're not going to be having jetpacks and all of that type of stuff. So, and then the final thing from this video that I wanted to read out, but mainly from Cedric's responses, was crops. All the primitive ones, please. They make such pretty greenhouses, if that's even going to be a thing in ARK 2. And Cedric replied saying, I loved all the crops too. Again, I feel that would be great. So many little things that we miss and we don't really talk about enough. And I do actually believe these do hold a place in ARK 2. And we can kind of take a step back a bit. We were going forward so much of ARK 1, talking about what tech rocket launchers we could have. But why don't we just have the simple stuff in the game, like different types of crops, water wheels, all that type of stuff. That sounds to me like a kind of game that I am wanting to play. So, as I mentioned in the comment section down below, guys, let me know what type of primitive themed ARK 2 items and systems you would like to see in the game and what you think could be quite exciting. There's going to be so many ideas, and I always like this because if a dev does happen to stumble across my video, it gives them the chance to actually read through the comment section as well and see what the community of ARK want to see in the new game. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Smash that like button if you did enjoy, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video very soon.